Hello, 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. Of course, as soon as I start this, my cat has to sprawl across some of your cards. So, we will start with the tarot cards here. And we have Queen of Wands upright, the Cozy Witch or the Fool upright, Ace of Cups upright, the Magician upright, Four of Cups upright, Five of Wands in reverse, Three of Swords in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, Four of Swords upright, Six of Cups in reverse, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and the Page of Swords upright. And I really want to highlight what it says there. Curiosity is a type of magic. For the Page of Swords card, it says that. And I feel like there's just so much I could say. Where do I begin? Let's see. Oh, Axel, he's distracting me. Okay, where do I want to start? I want to start with saying that it looks like the top row mirrors the bottom row almost perfectly. The top row is all in the upright position except for the last card, and all the bottom cards except for the Four of Swords and the Page of Swords are in reverse, so it's almost like there's mirroring. And so if you see as well, then that means that the first card here, the Queen of Wands, is mirroring the Three of Swords in reverse. And for the bottom, or at the end of each row, then we have the Five of Wands in reverse for the top row, mirroring the Page of Swords upright. So I want to say that a lot of you will be on your own individual journeys this year. If any of you have... Oh, 222 at the time of me saying this. Everybody pause and make a wish. Okay, I hope you made a wish. So that could be an important number for you all. 222. I don't remember if that's one of the ones from the original, the main video, one of the angel numbers, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, a lot of you are going to be on your very own individual journeys this year. It feels like, and that's especially highlighted by the Four of Swords upright and the Four of Cups upright. It's like, you're just done with people's bullcrap. And it feels almost like you feel claustrophobic with people. I don't even get the sense, like, some people, of course, maybe you need to evaluate your friendships, your relationships with people. But really, it's like, it's not even just that. I think a lot of you actually do have very good and strong support systems. But it feels like the way this comes across is just you feel claustrophobic. Or you have been lately. Or maybe you're just so distracted by other people that it distracts from your own journey in this lifetime. So Spirit is saying, and I want to say specifically, this kept popping up when I was laying the cards out, that Spirit is saying you're going to do a complete 180 this year. I feel like people will be very surprised in your personal life how you portray yourself. So I wonder if a lot of you have been portraying yourself in a certain way, and then now you're finally going to reveal your true and authentic self. Other than that, though, we also have the Cozy Witch or the Fool here, so I think it's more than just you maybe changing something about your personality or your looks. I think this is about... This is about you going on a completely different journey. It reminds me of, when people quit their jobs and then they do a job that's completely different from what they were doing before, and people are like, who are you? Like, I didn't even know you liked this kind of thing. It's very much giving that. For some of you, that specific message could relate as well, where maybe you, excuse me, where maybe you, how do I say? It could be a job, right? It could be something. Oh, Ace of Pentacles in reverse too. Ooh, you know what? Okay. Actually, I think for quite a bit of you, this could resonate. You could be in a job right now that is very high energy or fast paced, or there's just a lot going on. It could also be that it doesn't provide a good work-life balance. Knight of Swords in reverse indicates to me that you haven't had much time maybe to be with friends, to do things. And I know I was talking about the friends thing, some of you so okay, there's so many messages coming through, I'm sorry, this is good, it's just it's hard to, like, layer things out instead of getting things all jumbled together. Earlier, I was talking about how I think some of you need to spend less time with friends, although I think with certain friends, I think that's true, but I think for a lot of you, those friends could be more so coworkers or, like, people you see at work. Mm. But take what resonates. There's many, many people choosing this stack. I don't wanna say many, many as in, like well, there's just probably gonna be at least, multiple people choosing this stack. But it seems like with the Ace of Pentacles being in here in reverse and all the other cards, it's like Three of Swords energy in reverse. A lot of you haven't been able to fully and authentically sorry, y'all. I actually had to pause it. I didn't have to say sorry, y'all probably didn't know. I do wanna say this though because I'm having really bad indigestion after lunch. This normally does not I don't usually have bad indigestion like this, specifically, anymore. So I feel like part of the message is that a lot of you really have been overworking yourself, or you've been even maybe trying to make something work in terms of career or professional life that it just isn't working. And Spirit is saying, well, you know what? I will say for a lot of you, maybe it is working, but it's like Spirit wants you to put into perspective. What signs have you been getting from Spirit indicating that you're doing too much? Spirit, and that's why I think a lot of you will need to pivot in some way, because it's like maybe you're in the type of job where it's like you can't just take a bunch of breaks or you can't just take much time to take a deep breath. It reminds me of people who are nurses. Granted, we need nurses, like we need doctors and nurses and all that. And I think there should be better work schedules for that though. I don't think people should work the hours they do. I don't know, maybe some people like it. I've never heard of somebody who likes it. I just hear people say it's part of the job. But what in the heck is this? Ah, gonna throw that away so my cat doesn't eat it. There's like a piece of weird tape on my ankle. Okay. What I was saying though is that it seems like a lot of you have been working so hard. And Spirit is like, whether you get a new job or you stay at your job, Spirit's like, you don't need to put as much energy into it as you are putting into it because it's sacrificing your health. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Where it seems like you're just not giving yourself enough of a break. So for this year, that's why this Four of Cups and Four of Swords energy is saying you need to, even the Page of Swords in a way, and I'll explain. It's like, I think a lot of you probably do well with structure and routine as well. How do I explain? Like some of you may be like doing a lot of things to occupy your time. I think a lot of you probably don't do the best with boredom, so that might be a struggle. It really might be. With those Four of Cups and Four of Swords cards, people can get bored, right? So Spirit is saying through this year, you have to be comfortable with stillness and even with specifically boredom. But also, it's not even just about that. It's like you do so much in terms of career. Spirit is saying you need to give yourself more of a break this year. So, if that means maybe you haven't gone on a vacation ever since you accepted this job position, and Spirit's like, take at least like a weekend off, go somewhere, even if it's within your state, your region, your county, I don't know. Like, why can I not think of it? So, not state. Oh my god, why can I not think of like a district? I don't know. I'm thinking of Canada. What is it called? Oh my god, I feel so bonkers right now. Providences. Okay. Wait, is that right? Providences. Okay, I know I'm just gonna keep chugging along. But it seems like ooh, I don't even remember what I was gonna say because I have to highlight that Six of Cups in reversed energy. For some of you, maybe you're at a very pivotal point in your life now where what you are working on or working toward achieving is something you've wanted since you were very young. So that could be the case. I think also, though, a lot of you will be forced into having to take a chill pill and like relax or take more breaks just in life, separate from just only being career oriented. A lot of you will need to take more time for yourself. this year. Six of Cups in reverse with these cards, it makes me think that you'll almost kind of be Spirit is giving you a warning, like, you'll be forced into this position of needing to take more time for yourself and, like, not overworking yourself. You'll need or even if that just means filling up your time all the time. That can mean with social interactions as well, right? But it seems like Spirit is really saying, "If you don't do it yourself, we will do it for you. We will." And I feel like things will happen anyway, even if you don't schedule things around differently or like take more time for yourself. Spirit's like things will happen inevitably, but it's like we're just letting you know things will happen this year where you will need to put the brakes on. We do have the Three of Swords here in reverse that can deal with grief. So for some of you, you could be going through any sort of grieving process this year. That can mean actually physically losing somebody, but it could also mean something like losing a friendship, losing a job, right? And also, I do get some of that Dark Night of the Soul energy where I feel like a lot of you, it brings me back to what I was talking about earlier. You will need to reinvent yourselves in some way. So that's why you'll also need time to be by yourself and to not fill your time with all these activities and all these hangouts and work and all that. Even vacations and such. If you're only filling up your time all the time, you're not just like chilling at home. Spirit's like, you probably shouldn't be doing that for this year. Not only because we're telling you things will happen that will prevent you from just being on autopilot, but because it's affecting your health. And Six of Cups in reverse energy can be about somebody from your past coming through for this year as well. I feel like for those of you who that applies to, I feel like this person's probably caused you a lot of pain, so it will make you rethink things in terms of your own life and who you want in your life. I think this year is a time of not questioning in general, though. It feels like a lot of you inherently know the things you need to do, you just haven't done them yet because of whatever reason. I think a big thing is that a lot of you feel comfortable with the things you do right now. So it's like giving yourself time to breathe. It's like a lot of you probably aren't very good with chilling out your thoughts. And then for my god, I'm being pulled in so many directions, I swear. Five of Wands energy in reverse is indicating further that there are some people you will probably need to cut out of your life. And if there's people come from your past, actually, I'm getting a sense that some of you, if you haven't fully cut ties, if you're just like, I don't know, like my ex, like we're fine, we just talk every now and again. In some ways, it's like you'll need to realize when you need to let people go. Even if people don't do anything bad, sometimes we just need to let people go because there's pain there or because, people are living their own lives and we just don't get to talk to them very much. Whatever the reasoning is, there is a sense that you will need to do a lot of healing. Part of that healing is how it relates to your relationships with other people. I think also inevitably there will be a lot of changing dynamics just within your relationships because of changes in other people's lives and your life. Like, I think you'll go through many changes. Other people will go through their own changes. It makes me think of when people start a family or they get engaged or get married or, yeah, people move away. It makes me very much think of things like that. It doesn't even have to be any major life changes like that, but I just feel like you will be on such a different path from these other people in your life where that doesn't even mean you have to like cut off friendships with these people. I get a sense that the friends, if you hear my cat in the background, he's in his litter box. I'm going to keep going. It's not even the sense, I get a big sense that there's many negative people in your life. It just seems like people are on their solo individual journeys. And I think this will be a very eye-opening year because I think a lot of things you've expected to maybe achieve by this point in your life maybe won't happen. If they do happen, I think a lot of you will have expected more. So that's something as well, is that a lot of you with your expectations, sometimes expectations get met, sometimes they don't. That's part of the reinventing yourself with the Four of Swords, Four of Cups energy. It's like, okay, where did I go wrong? Or where can I do better? Or, okay, maybe this is what I wanted in the past, but what do I want now, this year? What is changing in terms of my goals for this year versus last year versus the year before versus maybe some of you also compare your lives to other people, your life to other people's lives where maybe you're at one place and another person's main focus of life is in a different area. So try not to be competitive in that way, but think about the way this comes across from Spirit is try not to compete with other people in any way. But think about your life. Are there some things that you have neglected that you're maybe jealous of? I feel like there's maybe some underlying jealousy. It doesn't come across as in a negative way. We all deal with jealousy throughout our lives, but it seems like there's some things that you're jealous of other people for and other people are jealous of you for. Like, let's say you are super far in your career, but then you have a friend who maybe is a stay-at-home parent now. And maybe you're jealous of them because they have children. Maybe they're jealous of you because you have this economic freedom, and you have this freedom to do things that you wouldn't be able to do if you had children, right? So thinking about things like that, it's a really good time to reflect on how you want to change and grow and be better. I think a lot of you actually, I get really good vibes. I think a lot of you have already experienced a lot in life. So that's why it's interesting for me to also say that it feels like there will be a 180. There's going to be some major shift or switch that will happen. I talked about maybe switching completely different careers. It could be moving somewhere completely different. It could be maybe you ended a relationship not long ago, or you will this year, a friendship, or even let's say a romantic partner, and then the next person you maybe date this year is somebody completely different. But I feel like there's going to be more than one thing. And I just think I'm getting the sense you'll view things very differently because of things that are happening outside of your control this year. It'll make you, also, I'm hearing a lot of you will become a lot better problem solvers because you'll have this time, Spirit is saying you at least should have these moments of reflection and of really focusing on the present moment as well. I think some of you maybe struggle with thinking too much about the future, right? I don't even get the sense it's that as much of you for that. I think a lot of you, it's not even that you're in the past, present, or the future. It's that you're just. Oh, I'm hearing like being overrun again, overrun by work or filling up your schedule. So that's why Spirit wants you to breathe. That's what will give you more clarity of your life path right now, and being like, oh, okay, well, I can just take this out, maybe add this. And it doesn't have to be a one-to-one, by the way. Like, take one thing out means you have to add one thing in, but I think a lot of you will need to take a lot of things out as it relates to time management. And I think a lot of you do so much for other people as well. Spirit is like, that's part of the way in which you need a break. You can't be there all the time for other people. Even though it might be something you really want to do, there's a lot of healing work that needs to be done this year. And a lot of solo journeying. Even if it's something like, let's say you do go on trips still, but maybe you do them solo as opposed to with friends or family or any sort of loved one. Let's say that instead of going out to brunch every Sunday with friends, maybe you do it every other Sunday because you have a lot of stuff going on. And I think a lot of you are hard workers. It seems like there's already going to still be a lot on your plate, even if you take as much as you can off of it. So Spirit is saying that's part of what's so helpful for you during this time. Now, we also have the Magician here. We have the Fool here, Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups upright. All of this is very creative energy to me. I think a lot of you will gain a lot of intuitive insights this year. I think a lot of you will just inevitably also be very creative this year. That could be as it relates to career. It could be just in general. I will say, I'm getting the sense here that your energy will feel a lot more lighthearted. And also the Queen of Wands is very Sagittarius energy for me, by the way. A lot of people with the Queen of Wands, that can be about, it's usually the card of sociability, which is why it's so interesting. But I think the sociability comes from the Cozy Witch here, the Fool upright. Whatever this new beginning is, this new part of your journey or life path that you're on, that's where you will be more engaging. It's almost like Spirit is saying you might be engaging in too many things right now. Once you hone it back, you can you know what it's giving? You'll have more energy for the things you would like to have energy for, as opposed to having energy for everything and having things on your schedule that you don't even like, you don't need to do, right? And I don't know why, Spirit is saying don't be afraid to not comply as well. So I wonder if that could relate to like work. Maybe don't go to all the business parties. I don't know. Don't comply to social or gender standards. There's just a sense of don't comply. Remember that for this year. Don't comply, don't comply, don't comply. Like doing things your own way. And I see you actually being what I'm trying to say is that this energy is once you remove more from your plate, your energy will feel a lot more uplifted. You'll have a lot more energy for the things you actually want to have energy for. I see you also therefore being a lot more creative, and also even for some of you just being a lot more with that Ace of Cups, being a lot more vulnerable with people. I think when we run on autopilot or we're doing so much at once, we can neglect our emotions and our thoughts. So I think now's the time for you to also, that doesn't even mean you have to be with other people vulnerable. That can mean being vulnerable with yourself. Like, hey, how am I feeling? Catching up with yourself. So I see that, but I do want to highlight that I really do get a lot of creative energy. Also, Ace of Cups and Magician are right next to each other. Like, come on. That is powerful manifesting energy. So that also indicates whether you've been manifesting something or not. If you remove more from your plate this year, if you're not doing so much, or if you take a different job that gives you more, whatever helps you balance out, because that's what I wanted to say. I don't think I mentioned earlier. The complete 180, the reflection of the top row and the bottom row also gives me balance. So I think a lot of you will need to obtain and maintain more and better balance for this year. They'll be very helpful and beneficial and crucial for you all, I must say. Like, very, very much so. But I'm getting a sense that... What am I getting a sense of? What was I saying? Oh, even if you haven't been manifesting anything in particular, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, maybe you just call it working toward a goal, whatever it is, this Ace of Cups and the Magician, it's indicating that the more you remove from your plate, the more powerful your manifestations are, because your manifestations are more direct. There's less distractions. So you know clearly what you want to do and how you want to do it, what you want to achieve and how you wish to achieve it. And with the Fool being here, it's like, and I just have to highlight that Queen of Wands. Also, I said Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius also has a lot of good luck. A lot of you could be naturally lucky, but I don't even get the sense of that as much for this group, even though the Queen of Wands is here. I actually just get the sense that with your energy being lighter, with you doing less all at once, Spirit will reward you is the way this is coming across. Like, you can still be a hard worker. You can still have things on your list and have errands and stuff that you need to run, of course. But Spirit is saying by removing some of this... Oh, my cat. Okay. So I don't know if you could hear he was scratching at the wall. Okay, but it just feels like there's so much on your plate. I just have to keep highlighting that for some reason. Removing some stuff, toning it down, simplifying. That's an important keyword for you all for this year. You have to simplify. Also, I'm hearing it's okay to make shortcuts sometimes. So I don't know how that relates to you all, but maybe that means instead of going to the grocery store once a week, you go once every 2 weeks. And you just like are more efficient and go there and you're not just looking around all the time. It's very much that energy. Where Spirit is saying you have the ability to almost cut corners in a way that's obviously not harmful for you or other people. It's only going to be helpful. And you'll just have more energy for yourself and for downtime. You could be creative in that downtime. Or you could do just absolutely nothing. I wonder if for you all, you don't like doing nothing. You just feel very, like, I don't want to say, you feel very what is the word I'm thinking of? Not unimportant. You just feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like you should be doing something with your life. You feel, what can't I think of the word? You feel not uninspired, unhelpful maybe? I think that can apply to you. I don't think that's the word I was trying to think of, but unhelpful is definitely a word. And just unsatisfied, I guess. That's another word. So Spirit is saying to work on that, to feel safe being by yourself, to feel safe also for any dreams you've put on the back burner, evaluating, or anything that is in the back burner, but it's just like kind of in the background of your life. Now is a year for it to, come full circle. As I was saying with the cards and like the complete 180, things coming full circle. Oh, that's so true, bestie. Things will come full circle for you. So any hard work you have put in, releasing some of that energy, Spirit will work in your favor. They want for you to do well. The Fool is here. They want for you to go on to this next part of your life path. But Spirit is saying you have to allow us to do that, to help you. If you're trying to do everything yourself, how are we going to help you? Sometimes you need a little bit of magic, right? You need a little bit of spiritual guidance and help. So Spirit's like, we can give that for you, but it feels like you feel the need to do everything by yourself. Spirit's like, you don't gotta always be like that. Page of Swords too, it brings me back to what I was talking about with creative solutions, cutting corners, yeah, simplifying. That could also mean for some of you decluttering your home. That will be very helpful. Decluttering your car, selling excess goods. I know some people like having like a maximalist home, having a lot of trinkets and goods. But Spirit is saying that we don't always need to have excess, especially where you're going in life. It feels like whether you move or I don't even know what this energy is. It could be about moving or just traveling. I don't know. But it feels like, ooh, that, you know what? This is leading to the Queen of Wands again. The weight off the shoulders. Some of you maybe have, ooh, Six of Cups. Ooh, okay, that's in reverse. So some of you have things that are related or tied to people from your past as well, such as exes, such as friends, even family members. And Spirit is saying it's time now to let go of these things because that's impacting your energy. It's keeping positive vibes or abundance from coming in. And Spirit is saying that, yeah, like donating old goods, even just selling old goods, any of that. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I just want to, ooh, I'm getting like chills in the my upper shoulders area. Yeah. Weight off your shoulders. When there's less clutter around your home, less dust, this also means some of you need to clean more, okay? Or be more or be more organized. Doing these things will make things not only more clear for you, but even Spirit, because it's like if you're all over the place, Spirit's like, how are we supposed to know what we're supposed to do to help you? We want to help you, we want to get you to where you want to be, but I think a lot of you maybe don't even know where you want to be because it's like you're so focused. That's why removing yourself, having this downtime will help keep you recentered and grounded in what you truly want to achieve for this year. Specifically, could be other things in the further away future, but specifically this year, keeping you grounded. And I feel like this is a year where you will learn a lot about yourself as you go on this new journey. I think, hmm. But yeah, I just see you doing a lot more things by yourself. I have to highlight though, decluttering, removing things, selling things, rearranging things. If you haven't rearranged in a long time, that gets energy stuck. I just see energy literally flowing through a room so much more clearly when there's less junk, when you clean, when you don't keep things dirty. Because that's the thing too. Like if you keep like a deity's altar dirty or somebody, an altar or just any part of your space, but especially an altar for those of you who have that, if you keep it dirty, then that's like kind of being disrespectful to the deity you are having an altar for. So keeping clean, getting rid of things we don't need, making our beds in the morning, things like that, keeping organized. I just see those things being very helpful. Or like reorganizing, making sure the energy flows. Some of you, I do get the sense you'll need to like burn ethically sourced sage or Palo Santo or any sort of incense. I feel like there's a lot of stagnant energy in your home space. I do have to highlight it. So Spirit's saying part of what will help you to be more clear with your vision is to do this. Also, I'm seeing somebody meditate with incense going on. So for some of you, maybe having extra sensory stuff going on helps you to relax and meditate more. So for some of you, maybe meditating is easier with music or having people guide you through meditation. Oh, it's almost like, yeah, cutting corners. It's like you don't have to. I'm stubborn in this way as well. Or sometimes there are things available that could help me more, but I'm like, I feel like I gotta do all this by myself. And it's like, you don't have to though. Spirit's like, you don't have to. You can take a shortcut. You can do things that make things easier. You don't have to take the hard route. And that's the thing too. I think that's an important thing to say. You don't have to do the hard things all the time. You don't have to take the hard option every single time. Spirit is saying if you give yourself a break in that regard and you kind of cut corners or you're easier on yourself or you're less stressed about an outcome, Spirit is saying that will actually help you so much. That will allow things to manifest a lot more clearly. And I think for a lot of you, just there's big events that could be happening this year that are worth celebrating. I think maybe it gives me the vibe of a lot of you maybe know that these things are available to happen to you. Like, let's say getting engaged, or you know what, selling your art to no, do I wanna say yeah, selling an art to, like, a local museum, having it on display. Maybe you've never done that before, and you're just like, "Yeah, I know, I this is my goal for this year," and but then a lot of you maybe are like, once you achieve it, you're like, "Oh, I actually didn't think I could." It's like I think for some it's giving the energy that you're able to manifest, you're able to have things happen. Things will happen for you this year, so you should believe in it happening more. It's almost kind of ignorance is bliss type of thing though, where I think a lot of you set intentions and you don't put too much emphasis on them, which for you actually works good because it makes things more likely to happen. But then when things happen and you're like, oh, I didn't think that would actually happen for me, Spirit's like, you gotta just believe in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself that you can do these amazing things. And I think a lot of you will maybe feel imposter syndrome in some way this year because there is such a shift and a change in personality, appearance and or career, whatever it is, there will be such a shift. I think a lot of you might get lost a bit, but this is the way this is being read is Spirit is saying it's okay to get lost. Let yourself get lost. Like it actually doesn't read as being bad. I think getting lost will help you to actually inevitably find more of yourself and find more of your interests, find more of your people. Okay, and then that's where you'll get this Ace of Cups and the Magician energy, where you'll just feel very intuitively drawn. Maybe you're not lost, it's just that you're maybe trusting your intuition more for the first time, or you just haven't done something in a long time. Whatever it is, Spirit's like, you're not being led astray. We are helping you, guiding you to where you need to be. We are helping you to be able to achieve the things you would like to achieve for this year, and they are possible for you, so let us help you. And have more time for yourself. Get good sleep. That's part of the rest portion of this, okay? Spirit is saying that there are things that you can do that will, even if they seem small, and I think for you all, this is actually good though. Small things will be will act like big things. Doing small things, taking small actions, that will lead to big changes in a very positive direction. I see it being just an overall it makes me want to almost cry. I just feel so excited. There's so much that Spirit is saying that you don't even know is going to happen either. And I think a lot of you also just need to keep an open mind for this year because I think you'll be pulled in different directions. So Spirit is saying to, with that Four of Cups and Four of Swords energy, really reflect and see if something is meant for you. Trust that Ace of Cups intuition energy. Even if it's very different for you, if you're being led toward a different path or doing something different for yourself, Spirit is saying that that isn't a bad thing. It might be just the best thing to get you to where we want you to be or where you would want to be if you only knew. Is the way that this comes across. But there's a lot of excitable energy. A lot of things you don't know about are going to happen that are very positive. And it just seems like with this Three of Swords in reverse energy, anything you've gone through in life that has been difficult, anything you've had to grieve, anything you must release this year, or anything you've released recently in the past, Spirit is saying that you are rewarded for letting something go. What isn't meant for you isn't meant for you, and if something else is meant for you, that will come to you. Is the way this comes across. So don't be afraid of new experiences, new opportunities, new people to enter your life. I see a lot of newness happening, and in a way where it's like Spirit doesn't even want me to tell you too much more about specifics because they're like, we don't want to ruin the surprise. Is the way this comes across. There's just so much happy go lucky energy here. So keep an open mind, go with the flow, and don't overwork yourself. Don't dip your toes into too many things as well. Like, fine-tune where you want to dip your toes. Okay. I think that's a good place to stop for the tarot cards. Let me rally these cards up. Okay. Now, let's go here. Here are the oracle cards I will talk about. Moving. Oh my god, I swear, like, I pulled these cards last week, actually. I haven't, I'm filming this on a Monday, so I haven't even been able to, I don't even if I did look at the cards, I have a bad memory, I wouldn't be able to remember. Um, okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, there's another set of oracle cards I will get to later on. I will read in the guidebooks for these cards as well. I don't even remember what else I was going to say. Uh, what do I even want to say? Shut up. Okay, now I'm literally tearing up. Lily, and it says happiness and simplicity. What was I literally saying? Balance? Oh, yes. Okay, let's just whew. Well, okay, what I was gonna say is I don't remember even what the cards say. Before I read the guidebooks, I will read you or tell you my intuitive thoughts that come to mind. We have 18 garnet, commitment, heart, and sacral chakras. Bear boundaries, stand your ground, moving. 13, coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. And 13 is related to, I believe, the death card in tarot, and it's all about change and transformation. Actually, before I go any further, let me look up number 13 in the angel number book. 13, hope. Nurture yourself. Your angels are aware you are going through a difficult time. They want you to put your energy into taking care of yourself. Plant a seed somewhere you can watch it grow. As you nurture this new life, you are nurturing your own as it gets acquainted with what surrounds you now. Interesting. So I feel like the difficult time is maybe something that has happened already, or maybe you're just in the thick of it now and it isn't over yet. But Spirit is saying to take care of yourself. Part of the taking breaks, relaxing, that means focusing on yourself, focusing your energy inward. Also, we have love yourself first from the romance oracle card. This could relate to a romantic relationship. I'll see what I feel intuitively once I'm done reading through everything. But yeah, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens up the doorway to receive. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. God could be the universe. It could be your spirit guides or higher self, however you wish to incorporate that message into your life. And we have, for the other oracle cards, find your center, stay true to you, call it to you. And a new earth is happening, keep holding the vision. Lily, innocence, purity, balance, rhythm, routine, happiness, simplicity. Join the simple rhythm of routine, a return to purity and innocence. That's the thing. Spirit wants you to really simplify your life and not do. Oh, you know what I was going to say that I forgot to for the tarot cards? Specifically, this message of. I think it maybe relates to the expectations about how you expect a certain outcome, you expect to have already been at a certain place in life. A major thing you need to practice this year is gratitude and being happy and grateful for what you already have. Doing that will actually make you realize you're more abundant than you currently realize. It will help you to realize that. How do I explain? Whenever for me, I relate to this. Spirit provides more for you when you're already grateful for what you have, or else you're never going to be satisfied. So, learning to be grateful for what you have and the direction you're going will help Spirit to bring in more abundance for you. But I see you just ultimately being happier when you remove some excess from your life, when you simplify things. I still can't get over the fact that the moving card is here. Okay, but love yourself first. This could be about a romantic relationship, but really, this relates to the fact of what I've already been saying. How a lot of you are on this journey, this solo journey for this year. You're meant to do things for yourself and by yourself this year. That doesn't mean you have to only be by yourself and be alone, but there really is a sense of being more to yourself. That could also mean keeping more information to yourself. Like, let's say if you told everybody you move and then everybody ends up finding out and then it becomes this whole big thing. Instead, bear with the boundaries also says you can keep some things to yourself as well. And you can figure things out for yourself. You don't need to take only the advice from other people. You can take your own advice. You can listen to yourself before you listen to what other people are saying you should do. Because ultimately, you should listen to your own inner voice more than anybody else's voice. But with love yourself first. Some of you could be in a relationship. It could end this year, a romantic relationship, or you could maybe start dating, but you realize, hey, there's so much I need to do for myself this year. I need to focus on myself. So it will be hard for some of you to maybe have a romantic partnership in some way. It could also just mean that simply you will have to do, a lot of nurturing yourself this year. Even if you still have a partner or you get a partner, Spirit's like, make sure you put yourself first either way. Because there's a sense some of you put other people before yourself, or you consider other people's feelings before your own, and Spirit doesn't want for you to do that. Spirit is saying, with God as your source as well, how you don't need to have everybody just take from you. You can take from other people. It can be a more balanced relationship with other people, and the people who don't want to have a balanced relationship, then they're not the type of people you want around you, because then they're not having you in their life for the right reasons. If they feel like they can take advantage of you, or if they feel like whatever about the friendship or relationship that you have. So Spirit is saying that just as other people deserve good things, so do you. And how there's plenty of abundance to go around, and there's plenty of abundance that has yet to enter your life, so be open to receiving that for this year. My cat is sniffing and rubbing on the mic. Don't do that, bae. And the 13 coherence card talks about what we desire. So yeah, I feel like there's almost like a childlike energy with this as well, because of that happiness that comes through. You should just be simply happy this year. Spirit's saying that the things you want to do should make you simply happy. The changes that you have the power of making, they want for you to have a positive mindset. And that doesn't mean you can't ever be sad, but Spirit is saying that there's so many good things coming for you that really you should focus on tapping into what you really want and like, because things are shifting right now in your life. So Spirit's like, there's things that we want to provide for you. Let us know clearly, because I said it before in the tarot spread portion of this video for you. A lot of you maybe don't know for sure what you want. You maybe think you know what you want or what you like, but then you try new things, or maybe you stop doing something. You're like, oh yeah, I actually feel better that I don't do that. Maybe it's like Pilates. You're like, I'm a Pilates girly or something. Then you stop and you do strength training instead, and you're like, oh yeah, actually I didn't like Pilates. I just liked feeling strong, but I like doing strength training better. You know? Maybe it's a balance. You don't have to do just Pilates, and you don't have to do just strength training. You can do both. There really is a balance. I think a lot of you could maybe suffer from black and white thinking. Spirit is saying things don't have to be so black and white. Multiple things can exist at once. And also, I talked about structure and routine, but I think part of that for you all, what would be best is not only having the same routine all the time. It could be like, maybe let's keep going with the exercise example. Maybe sometimes you exercise in the morning and sometimes at night, because maybe you didn't get good sleep, you want better sleep, and then you'll do it at night and you'll make time for that. Or maybe you just skip out on an extra day or two throughout the week. Spirit is saying you don't have to be a perfectionist, and you don't have to be so hard on yourself, that you're allowed to, like, you still, that structure, that routine is still there for you to fall back on for the next week or the next day, the next year, right? Whatever it is, whatever this routine is for you that you are thinking about when I talk about this stuff, you are able to fall back on that and adhere to that at any point in time. But that doesn't mean if things don't turn out a certain way, that doesn't mean that you should shame yourself or be feeling guilty about anything. Spirit's like, things happen. And we're not perfect. Don't try to be perfect, and don't try to think that there's one way of doing things. There can be multiple ways that can exist at once as well. Ooh, ooh, I feel like crying all of a sudden. And Spirit also wants to say that you are enough. And you don't have to do all these things for validation, externally or internally. You yourself, without these things that you do and provide for other people in your life, outside of that, you are a good person. You alone, not doing anything, are worthy of being on planet Earth and of having good things happen for you. You don't need to do all these different things at once in order for you to be loved or cherished or highlighted. You alone are, oh my god, I feel like crying. Seriously though, you alone are enough, which is why Spirit wants you to simplify, because Spirit's like, this happiness that some of you, no, well, some of you, like a lot of you need, is based in the happiness is based in the simplicity. I think a lot of you have been overlooking your own happiness, and you've been overlooking the things that make you happy, because maybe being happy makes you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you feel like you're just not doing enough. Spirit's like, you yourself are enough. You don't need to do anything to be happy. You don't you don't need even other I mean, we should hopefully have people in our lives who love us, but you don't even need other people to love you in order for you to love yourself, or for the universe to love you, or for you to just be worthy of existing. That goes so deep, but it is so true. You just deserve the world, and you deserve to be happy. And with this commitment card, for me, with Garnet, when that gets pulled and it has the heart and sacral chakras, that to me means committing to your passions. So it brings me back to what I was talking about with some of you. Maybe have put these things more on the back burner, or it's not your main focus of energy. Maybe there's things you've always wanted to try, but you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed to try these new things. Whatever it is. Maybe people have judged you for your art, and so then you hide it from the world, or you don't practice as much. Maybe you're very self-critical. Spirit is saying to commit to the creative process and to tap into specifically, and this relates to what I was saying in the tarot part. Relate to what brings you childlike joy specifically. Relate to what makes your inner child happy, or something that has made you happy since you were a child. Tap into those things. Simplifying can also mean doing that. Going back to basics, aka going back to your root happiness as it relates to your childhood or core memories from when you were younger. Commitment to doing those things despite what other people may think or other people's judgments. Also, commitment to healing yourself in some way through this year. Probably I'm imagining, because in the other two stacks there's an element of this, but it probably will be for everybody, but the healing journey, like any sort of healing you need to do, I think for you, the healing journey is really to have that self-care and the self-respect. What is it? Yeah, the love yourself first card. It talks about self-respect. Doing the basic things, committing to also, with routine, doing things that are good for you. Maybe for some of you, you'll feel better if you have a skincare routine, right? So before bed or in the morning, I think a lot of people do it at night before bed. Doing these things, because you know what makes me think? Some people don't do these things, and it's like, I don't get the sense that you're lazy. I think a lot of you are the opposite. You're very busy, so you don't take the time for self-care, right? Or doing things for yourself that would make you happy. Let's say it is skincare routine. So that's why part of the taking the breaks, relaxing, doing things for yourself is important. Even if it's just half of a day every week is a self-care day, and you get a lot of stuff done on that self-care day. I will say though, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you should neglect yourself and your needs throughout the week. But, sometimes we can only do so much. Uh, what was I saying? The commitment card talks about healing. What was I saying? The solo healing journey. Oh yeah, a lot of you aren't lazy. It's the opposite. What else was I gonna say though, specifically? A lot of you, it makes me think a lot of you maybe are scared of change as well. It's like maybe you know that you could do the change, enact any changes that are forms of self-care. Oh, you know what I was gonna say is, I think a lot of you, when it comes to looking after yourself and caring for yourself, it makes you uncomfortable. But it's like, why is that? Is it because you yourself were not cared for when you were a child? Is it because your friends, your romantic partners have cared more about themselves than they have for you, and so then you have adapted to that? And since a lot of you do seem to be people pleasers, or you just are very helpful for other people, maybe when you're helping yourself out by doing something for yourself, maybe that makes you uncomfortable. So Spirit is saying to commit to the process and do not stop on that journey. Commit to yourself. Commit to your healing journey. And with the Barren Boundaries card, it does indicate, again, releasing certain people or just having better boundaries with people in our lives. It could also mean, I think people are scared of having boundaries, even if people would be pretty accepting of them. Like, let's say you're like, I'm sorry, let's go back to that Sunday brunch thing. It's like, I'm sorry, I can only go out every other Sunday now. And if your friends really were to be that mad, then it's like, okay, well, why would they be that mad at that when you have to take care of yourself? I think a lot of your friends would actually be accepting, but a lot of you maybe fear that judgment, and you fear letting other people down is the best way that this comes across. With moving, I mean, that can mean moving somewhere just across the town, even the building next door. It can mean the complete opposite side. I mean, we did talk about 180, so you could live somewhere complete opposite side of the country or opposite side of the world. Just think about anything opposite. If you were to move this year, I could very much see that happening. Some of you could also move for career. Ooh, you know what I was getting the imagery of? Somebody working at like as a tour guide or like at a national park, somewhere very touristy. Very specific messaging, but some of you maybe would feel drawn to doing that. And then the a New Earth card and Find Your Center card talk about, well, New Earth, it's literally saying it's happening, keep holding the vision. Yeah, things are going to happen whether you are ready or not this year, so just try to ground yourself the best you can. And Spirit is saying it's good, positive things, so you don't even have to know about everything. There's a lot of things outside of your control that you'll be happy with once they happen. Which is also why maybe we're not telling you now, Spirit is saying, about certain things, because we just want for things to unfold and for you to be grateful and happy in each moment. But Spirit is saying that there is a new Earth card really is the Fool energy, where there's new beginnings and there's things that maybe you've wanted to always have happen, they will start happening this year, or just big leaps of faith I'm hearing. Things that are maybe risky, but if it feels right, uh, if it feels right and if it doesn't hurt people, then you should go for it, is the way that this message comes across. And then we have Find Your Center, and it says, "Stay true to you, call to you." And see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you don't even really realize what you're meant to do, who you're meant to be, or maybe you have always realized, but it's like you've had to suppress it for whatever reason. So Spirit is saying this energy of being a completely different person or doing something completely different in this for this year, to do that, to trust in it, as long as it feels right and it feels like it will be good for you. You more than anybody else. If it feels good for you, then focus on that. Okay. So let's start with number 18, Garnet. Commitment, heart, and sacral chakras. This is on page 33. This is one of the angel numbers, it should be at least, from the original or main video. That will be linked down below. But, yeah, so if you want to know about the meaning for that. Okay, it's time for you to reignite your passion and open your heart and soul to positive, committed relationships. Examine the beliefs you hold about relationships and identify any beliefs which no longer serve you. Make a conscious decision to let them go. In this way, you make room for new beginnings and yes, you'll be more ready to embrace change. That's what I've been talking about. Well, okay, I've talked about the relationship themselves. That's actually, I had to reread it. I'm like, wait a minute, I think that isn't what I was talking about. So I was talking about the relationships themselves. So some of you, it could be about the beliefs you have about relationships, but I think that also is tied to relationships themselves. So if we no longer believe something about certain relationships in general, then if we stop believing in that, then that can crumble the foundation of a friendship, relationship, whatever it is. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway. Garnet it attracts positive, loving energy to you and your relationships. Feel your heart open with love and a sense of fulfillment. Don't feel guilty for wanting to be happy and successful in a long-term committed relationship. You deserve to have a wonderful life partner who will be by your side through life's ups and downs. This partner will be 100% committed to you and you will be equally committed to them. If you are already in a relationship that is positive, Garnet has shown up to reconfirm that you are on the right track. If you are currently single or in an unhappy relationship, Garnet asks you to stay strong and hopeful because there are some great things just around the corner for you in your relationship area. And see, I think many areas of your life will be impacted. I know Spirit said they don't want to get too much into specifics, but romantic relationships could be involved in that. But since we have Love Yourself First, I think this is just about relationships in general, not specifically romantic relationships. If anything, I feel like it's about friendships and people who are into similar interests and hobbies as us. But that then means that for some of you, once you remove people from your life who aren't meant to be in your life anymore, then if you replace those empty spaces with people who share similar beliefs and share similar hobbies to you, I think you'll be a lot more happier. And Spirit's saying you deserve to have people in your life who do make you happy and who uplift you instead of you only uplifting other people or whatever. Okay, let's go into the other guidebook now. We have Bear Boundaries, Stand Your Ground. 25. Number 25 is also in the main video, if you want to look at that angel number. For you to be your complete self, the self that the Creator wants you to be and that you know in your heart of hearts is your destiny. You must not only define who you are, but also who you are not. It's only when you can say a clear no that you can say a clear yes, and both are equally important in defining where your edges are. Setting your boundaries in this way increases your confidence and sense of autonomy, and your choices become much clearer. This doesn't mean to always say no, it just means to be secure in knowing that you can. This is critical in accomplishing your mission, whatever that may be, and is especially important related to your question. It's very tempting to succumb to others' demands and the various distractions that tempt you, as this often appears to be the easier route to take. Yet in your heart of hearts, you know that you need to establish these limits to stay on purpose. And remember, the only way that others can intimidate you is to deny your own power and operate out of fear. Come from strong love, without malice or aggression, and let them see and feel your full presence. It will work every time. Additional associations: protection, creativity, solitude, healing. Yeah, so that also talks about the healing journey you need to be on this year. Solitude, I definitely talked about that, and the creativity I talked about as well. And so the only other thing I didn't specifically talk about was protection. That's more so about protecting your energy from people who are draining or from people who are distracting. I did talk about distracting influences for you all. And my cat is in here again, by the way, and he's on my leg. Well, okay, now he went down. I'm interested to see what it says for a moving number on page 63. This card indicates that you are moving or just moved into a new home. This is a huge change affecting every part of your life. On the other hand, it is a wonderful way to clear the energy and start anew. On the other hand, on the one hand, and then on the other hand, the upheaval can be very disruptive. This card acknowledges how much your current or impending move affects you. With this relocation, self-care becomes even more important. Take time to rest instead of rushing to get everything immediately completed. Keep up your normal routines of exercise and healthful eating. You need your strength and energy for this move, and during the adjustment period as well. Self-care also includes exploring your new neighborhood and making new friends. Yeah, all of that I've already talked about. So yeah, additional meanings. Changing your workplace. Ooh. Redecorating or remodeling. Ooh. Talked about these things as well. Second home or vacation. Okay, I didn't talk about that. Oh, a vacation I did. Moving your body through a new exercise program. I mean, I did talk about the exercise examples, and then an emotionally moving experience. In terms of that, I think a lot of you will have very impactful experiences this year. I don't think you'll realize how, I guess, quote unquote, emotionally moving they are until after the fact, it feels like. It feels like things will just happen, and you have to just go with the flow and have things happen. And so then later on you'll be like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Or it did happen in this way, didn't it? Let's go to 13 Coherence in the other guidebook, and it says, the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. Coherence can be described as a state of harmony, union, or connection. In the new energy and as a reference to the human being, coherence has to do with a state in which the mind and the heart harmoniously flow together. Whether we are functioning as an individual, a community, or a group, the new energy is asking us to find balance between our thinking and our feeling. We can no longer rely solely on our analytical mind, nor can we just have our feelings guide the way. Every part of us has to come together in a harmonious, coherent state of being. Only then can we navigate these new energies to become multidimensional human beings that are in control of their reality. To be powerful manifestors, it is imperative to not only set clear intentions with our mind, but to have our emotional state of being, with the heart as its center, in alignment as well. And literally, this card down here says, find your center. Okay, where was I? When mind and heart come together in perfect unison, when intention saturates every layer of our being, every cell of our body, and every thought in our minds, we become unstoppable creators of our own reality. The basis of this activation is the flower of life, representing the universe as a whole, as well as the grid on which all form-based manifestation occurs in this three-dimensional plane. All forms are harmoniously flowing together on this grid. Whatever new form is created, whatever color is birthed, each has to find its balanced place within the whole of this reality. Conceptually, circles stand for everything and nothing at all, balance and infinity, purity and freedom. The many colors in this activation are representative of all the many layers and aspects of our being that are involved in the process of harmonious coherence. The green in the center symbolizes the heart and its essential role at the core of everything. The water in the background indicates the realm of the hearts as well, the emotional plane. The color blue represents our ability to communicate clearly. It is considered to be the color of truth, the language of the mind. The number 6 is associated with harmony, balance, and love. Also, one of the pages here is 30, and 30 is in the original video. Try this. Close your eyes for a moment and move your awareness to your heart. This is also referred to as dropping into your heart. Can you connect to the truth that is to be found there? Do you trust your heart? Try this throughout the day. Stop, drop, feel. Stop or hold a query or thought that arises. Drop it into or run it through your heart and feel the sacred wisdom that comes of it. And that's a good way to stay present as well. That's part of that Four of Cups, Four of Swords energy. To stay present, to stay relaxed, is to check in with yourself throughout the day. Check in on how you're feeling and anything that you're thinking and where it is felt in the body and all of that. I don't think there's anything else I have to talk about in here because I did already, everything it talked about, I basically have already discussed. So I'll leave that there and go to the other guidebook. Okay. It says, find your center, stay true to you, call it to you. Since ancient times, stones have helped humans find their center and their way home, through labyrinths and along paths and roads. This card is a call to remember who you truly are and to return to it again and again. The stones are calling you back home to yourself, to go in before looking outside for answers. Yep, they're here to help you remember that no one knows what's true for you better than you do, and that the best person you can possibly be is yourself. Often we feel that we need to follow another person's path because they have what we long to have. However, everyone's path is different, and our life is only wasted by walking someone else's. This reminds me of what I was saying before about like any jealousy that could arise from where other people who you know in life, they're somewhere else in life, as opposed to maybe they're also the same way with you, like they wish they had more freedom as you or whatever. There's no one even remotely like you on this planet, and so there's no one else's life path or life that will match your own. This card is a call to return to your inner truth, to trust your inner voice and just be you. If you've been sidetracked by external things that other people have, it's time to remember who you are and why you came here and to again and again walk yourself home. If there's something that you long for, take grounded action to go get it. But don't walk someone else's way. Call it to you with enthusiasm while walking your own. It will come much more swiftly and last a lot longer if you do. Journey into the heart of the labyrinth at Fairy Glen on Scotland's Isle of Skye, which features on this card. Allow each winding path to guide you deeper and deeper. With every step upon these ancient stones, allow yourself to surrender to the whispers of the wisdom within. The soul inquiry, and you can say this to yourself, is how are you being called to stay true to you? That's a beautiful card, and it matches the energy of the tarot cards. Okay. Now the other one, and then we'll go into the other oracle cards. Okay, and this is the first card in the deck. Alright, and this is on page 30. Showing up again. A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Don't give up now. You're closer than you think. I know it's hard to hold the frequency of a new age when it feels as if so much is crumbling and so many are losing faith. This is your sign that you're facing the right direction. You have a great gift in being able to see the potential of things before they exist. Tend to the new seeds. Dream it into existence. Don't lose faith now. Keep your focus fixed. Planting new seeds and bringing about a shift of the ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust. Axel. Honey, you don't need to keep smelling at the microphone. Sorry if that was loud. Okay, planting new seeds and bringing about a shift of the ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust and a radical vision. If you pull this card, it's a reminder to have faith. You chose to be here, to be part of this global shift. Whether you're bringing it about through prayer and meditation or through working on a new project, job, or creation, keep going. It's happening. Don't give up now. The world needs more dreamers like you, more people with hope in their hearts. The road ahead may not be plain sailing. Ushering in a new age in times of change never is. You're being encouraged to remember that what you've been working toward for so long is almost here. Don't question yourself now. Don't waver. Don't dig your devotion deep. For if you do, in the not too distant future, this year maybe, you'll be able to sit back and watch all that you have so carefully planted and nurtured grow and bloom. It's possible. Keep focusing on your dreams. You're closer than you think. Starseed Soul Inquiry. You can ask yourself, how can you keep holding the vision and stay true to you? All of that. Okay, what I will do now is, let me just set these cards aside so I can lay out the other oracle cards, and let's see what they say. Let's see if there's anything extra that we don't yet know. Oh, and there's 55. I don't remember if I did 55 in the other stack. Okay. There are 2 oracle cards here as well that are going to remain where they are until after a bit. First, I want to look at these. So, transits 55 climate. Before I forget, even if I read it in the other main video, I feel like I should read it again here, even if I did. Okay, 55 change. Things will look different. When you ask for what you want, your angels deliver, and that time is on its way. You're being told that your intentions are being taken seriously. Lie in meditation with your hands over your root chakra, the base of the spine. Repeat this mantra, I am ready for what is next. My cat is in the litter box again, by the way. If you hear that in the background, please don't mind that. But yeah, change. It's all about the change. And transits themselves are quite literally about things shifting in the universe and how it affects people. Transits are about, they can be transits of smaller planets which don't take as much time. It can also indicate the longer transits when things take longer to make a full cycle, such as the outer planets of Uranus and the quote unquote planet, more the dwarf planet of Pluto, things like that. But it seems like what this is indicating is that these changes have been in the works for a while. You've been working hard. You've been setting your sights on something. Even if things shift and are different than you expect, that's okay. Even if Spirit is saying, even if you've been working hard at something and it doesn't really come to fruition in the way you'd like, the changes will still happen for your best interest for this year. So let's say you have, let's just keep going back to the job stuff, especially because we have 6th house energy here with that card. And let's say you have worked hard toward wanting a certain job, a dream job, as some may, excuse me, as some may say. And let's say that this dream job you're about to apply, but then you're like, oh, there's this other place that's like actually quite different. Maybe it's somewhat in line with what you went to school for, or what your expertise is in, or what you're interested in. But you didn't think you'd get it, but you applied to this other place as well. And let's say that's actually the place you get your job offer for. You could make more there as opposed to at this other place. It's like, oh, okay. So it feels like part of what's transiting and what's changing is also your mind, your headspace, like what you believe to be true for yourself. But Spirit is also saying that it's all part of your dream. You just have to be open-minded and, again, take risks. Don't be afraid if things don't look the way you originally intended. A lot of things will fall into place this year. You have to be open-minded. And there are things happening outside of your control. So you have to just allow things to happen. It's about how you react to things. It's not what happens to you. Yeah, I'm gonna say that in the way people normally do. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do with what happens to you. That kind of thing. Where it seems like with these changes that happen, you can take them into your own power and you can do something with the transiting parts of life and with changes that just occur. Or you can let life happen to you. And Spirit's saying it's better for you to actually feel empowered by the changes that are happening and to with these changes that inevitably happen, feel guided to a higher calling that you might not even be quite aware of, or to the extent that you originally thought. And of course, in the sixth house, it says service to others, what is good for us, your work, a full-time job, serving, do it a little at a time. So sixth house next to transit, it's like it really does indicate your hard work has paid off. So now it's time to give yourself a break. Spirit's like, we won't do as much if you don't give yourself breaks now, though. It's like, okay, you've put in all this effort and work. Now, don't be worried about what happens next. Go with the flow. And this is just further indication as well that likely part of what's changing for you this year relates to your career. It could even be for some of you, maybe you really like your job, right? I know I kept bringing up career stuff just because I feel like for many of you that will relate. For some of you, maybe you do like your job. This could also indicate there's changes in your career in terms of having to move somewhere else, like at a different location for your career. Or like even if it's the same company, or maybe you have to start traveling around a lot. Maybe you have to change your schedule around a bit. Maybe for your career, there's new management, right? And then that impacts your work. Whatever this is, there are major changes for most of you as it relates to career, as it relates to what you do every day for work. But I see it being in a way that's positive, even if for some of you it doesn't seem like it at first, it will be for a positive reason. And then for the other cards, we have Mercury retrograde, electronic issues, communication issues, review everything. Review everything makes sense because it's a time of reflection. So Spirit is saying instead of just taking action all the time, having those periods of rest will allow you to review and reflect, and then you'll know what to do moving forward, as opposed to just being like, well, I'll just keep winging it. Although Spirit wants you to go with the flow, there's that balance. So if you feel like something is not right, if you feel like you are not doing something right, or you're making mistakes, if you can course correct, Spirit is saying that you can do that, and that can be very helpful during this year. Also, Mercury retrograde can indicate that the communication issues can indicate the issues with people you maybe need to cut out of your life or have better boundaries with. And I feel like it also just resonates with the fact that there's people in your life, even if you continue being friends with people, you just will be in such different areas of life. It will almost feel like talking to a stranger. So that's where communication issues can be present. Or it can feel like it's hard to keep up with people or catch up with people, I should say. Maybe because you're busy one week and then the other person's busy the other week, and it just seems like it will be hard to catch up with other people. Like conflicts will arise from scheduling conflicts will arise. There we go. And I'm not getting a sense again that it's a lot of times negative for many of you. I just think it's inevitable. I think that might make some of you quite sad, but Spirit is saying that's part of just the process of this year, and of part of what a lot of you need to do more work around is acceptance of things you cannot change, and acceptance of where you are at in life as opposed to other people, but in a place of also not comparing yourself negatively with other people. Also, I want to say Mercury retrograde periods could be very important just in general for you whenever they happen this year. And to just be careful during those times, but also I feel like there will be things that happen that will set your intentions even clearer. And then 42, we have it's the wrong time, which is very interesting. I wonder what that would be in reference to. I think just that being there, a lot of you could know. Like if there's a question that pops into your mind as it relates to that card, it could make more sense. I think it could be that Spirit is saying it's the wrong time to keep at the pace you're at. That doesn't really seem like it would make sense though with the phrasing. I feel like it mainly probably refers to the fact that a lot of you do have a lot on your plate. You have a lot of things you want to accomplish. And part of that simplification process is, some things we really want to achieve and accomplish. We have to maybe do things. It says with the sixth house, I think, right? Do it a little at a time. And like changes don't happen overnight. Transits don't just happen and go away and nothing happens. Like things can take time. So I think patience is important, and trusting the process, trusting that you're on the right path, even if things go haywire and don't really make sense. Because where things don't make sense, with Mercury retrograde energy too, I'm thinking Spirit is really saying that when it doesn't make sense is actually when ultimately makes the most sense, at least in the long run. Maybe not at first. Maybe for whatever reason you just can't see the things in front of you for what they are, or you can't, or the opposite, you can't find the deeper meaning. So Spirit is saying sometimes when things are confusing, ooh, or it's the wrong time. Sometimes when, you know what I'm thinking? Yeah. Spirit doesn't want you to push it. With going with the flow, this is what I guess I was already trying to say. When you go with the flow, when you simplify, when you remove things from your life, it just inevitably brings things to you. So if you try to push for something to happen in a certain way at a certain time, Spirit is saying that it won't happen that way. It will happen in the chaos, such as the chaos that happens during a Mercury retrograde. It will happen. It will happen. We have the transits card here. Things will happen and fall into place, but you just should be as far removed from that process as possible so that you can let Spirit work their magic, so that you can let Spirit guide you, and so that you can ultimately just feel in whichever way intuitively guided to the place you're meant to be. But I wanna, yeah, the wrong time. I just feel like there will be a lot of chaos. I think it's interesting though. I feel like your lives have already been very chaotic, whether you realize it or not. And so when you simplify, I think for some of you, it will almost add more chaos just because it's like you're focused on things more intensely and intensely. So Spirit is saying it might push a lot of you to want to rush through things. But Spirit is saying take your time and enjoy each moment with the simplicity and with the joy. That means being present. That means even when we do make mistakes or when things don't end up, you know what I'm hearing? What was I gonna say though? When things don't end up a certain way, it's like it's okay, or whatever I was gonna say. But I want to talk about how Spirit is saying that the mistakes that you like any mistakes you make and anything that happens outside of your control that causes things to kind of go to crap. Spirit is saying this year you should really laugh in the face of those things happening. It's like, of course this would happen to me. Of course my tire would, like I'm traveling out of town. Of course one of my tires would uh go flat on the highway when we just started leaving, or like in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, stranded in the middle of nowhere, barely any cars. Like, oh, of course that would happen to me. Spirit's saying that I actually think having a better sense of humor with these things, because there really is a sense you should be more lighthearted and not take things so seriously this year. The more lighthearted you are and the better sense of humor you have with the things that happen this year, Spirit is saying that the more things will work in your favor. Like, yes, things will happen, and you'll be like, what the heck? Changes will happen, and you'll be like, what the heck? Things that are unexpected will happen, you'd be like, "Well, I didn't expect this." But Spirit's like, "This is all part of it. This is all part of what this journey is meant to be." Spirit wants to see that you're able to, with the ups and downs, still conquer and still laugh in the face of, or yeah, just have a good sense of humor when life, because life doesn't have to be taken so seriously. Some of you have been taking life too seriously. Spirit's like, if you just laugh a little bit more, you have more lighter energy, things things will come to you. So you don't need to put pressure on time. You don't need to worry about the timing of things. Things will happen much quicker when you don't keep thinking about the times. That means don't have a set time for certain things. Like obviously there's certain things like going to work on time and all that. You should do that. But if you're wanting certain things to happen this year, Spirit's like the more removed you are from that and the less expectations you have on things happening by a certain time, the more likely, more quickly that will happen. But Spirit is saying that doesn't mean be cocky about like, oh yeah, I know this is gonna happen for me at this time, and like it's like I don't know, just don't let your ego get in the way. But Spirit's like just with a childlike wonder, be like, oh, I wonder what would happen, and being okay with the unknown. A lot of you, even though there's structure and routine, there still needs to be an air, that balance of unknown, of not knowing where life will take you and where you will be guided. Ooh, and that feels kind of scary for some of you, but also it's like, it should hopefully, you'll learn to be happy with that sentiment. You'll be more excited about not knowing every single outcome, every single detail. All right, so now I'll have you look here at these cards. These are 2 Angel Answers Oracle cards, and you may have had questions that you've wanted to ask before watching this reading or during the reading, but they may change now with looking at these cards because they provide specific answers. They can be phrased in whichever way you'd like. They can be about this reading, anything I've talked about. They can just be about this year in general or your life in general. Anything going on in your life. Whatever comes to your mind intuitively, as you look at these cards, I want for you to allow those questions to flow. So we have 1 card, 2 card. Card A or 1 or B or 2. So look at the cards. I'll give you some time to meditate around a minute with these cards, starting right now. All right, the minute is up. So the oracle cards for question 1, your answer is there's something better. And for question 2, the answer is yes, exclamation point. Also, I did forget, I'm just going to do it now. I did forget to read what it says for number 55, transits climate. So I want to read that here now. It says, the planets are always moving through time and space, always spinning around us. When those planets form geometric relationships to one another, they create transits, the astrological weather conditions of the day that affect us. The astrological weather conditions of the day that affect us all. There we go. When a moving planet forms a geometric relationship to a planet in your natal chart, that transiting planet can act like a guest who enters your house, sits in your kitchen, or sprawls in your living room. It activates that part of your existence. If that transiting planet talks to your Mars, it activates your warrior nature and fight or flight response. If it talks to your Moon, it initiates a story centered around your home, your family, and how you nurture yourself. Action. This situation is in flux and the surrounding conditions are changing. Stay alert, aware, and be ready to respond to incoming dangers and opportunities. Some people are moving in, others are leaving. Yep. New opportunities open and old chapters close. Yep. Listen to the grapevine for changes in personnel or economic conditions. You are not in control of these elements, but you can make the most of these changes and dance with fate. People that walk into your life now may be karmically important. Either the relationship will last a long time or it may be short, pithy, and teach you a valuable lesson. It can be helpful at this point to look at the transits in your natal chart. There is no volume control on this card's energy. Transits may trigger a small change in the personnel around you, or it could signal a shooting star that blazes across your life and turns your direction entirely. You have choices, though. Ask for grace and guidance when responding to the changing circumstances. Challenge. Wild cards are in play. You are not in control of who or what now brushes your life, and that can be scary. Gift. Even though life is an ever-moving circus and you do not control the people and events transiting your life, know that you are in complete control of your response to the transit. Choose wisely. That's like exactly what I've been saying. So I think that's perfect. And so I'll just leave that there. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comment again sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. That helps me out a lot. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. And you can check out my ASMR channel, Brady's ASMR, and that will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care.